Welcome back to the Maven Show. This is your host Rohit. Today we have Tara, the founder and CEO at Take It Easy Group and time management coach. Thank you, Tara, for getting into the show.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm excited to chat with you today.
Awesome. So I think you are the time management coach and been in the industry and, like helping entrepreneurs and helping small business owners and even the business leaders in the market to manage the time and so on. So would you just like to give a quick overview of your journey, how you got started and how everything is so far and what's the main goal of yours by, coaching all these business leaders?
Yeah. Ooh, that's a lot of questions. I hope I can remember all of them when I'm answering. Let me know if I don't. But a little bit of history about me. I started my career as a personal assistant, helping out rock and roll celebrities. And so I was, chasing them around and doing all their crazy requests that they had. And at one point I thought, there's just got to be more to life than this. I always knew that I loved helping people. And I've always said that I believe that I've been put on this planet to help others succeed. And I wanted to really help more than one person at a time, more than one crazy rock star at a time. So I stopped doing what I was doing and I opened up my own business back in 2007. I had no business experience at all. I just had an idea. I barely even had an idea. I just knew that I just wanted to help people. I wanted to help as many people as possible. And I remember kind of when I opened it, it was like one of my, well, I had many learning lessons, but one of the big learning lessons that I had was I always thought like, I just want to help people. And, business leaders and coaches would always tell me to find a niche. And I was like, oh no, you're crazy. I can help everyone. I can help single parents. I can help celebrities. I can help, seniors. I can help entrepreneurs. I can help small business. I can do it all because they all need help. And I figured out, maybe not as quickly as I would have liked because I'm stubborn and I kept trying, that really to be successful, you really do need to, one, find your story, and two, find your niche. So you can talk to the right people, so you know how to talk to them, so you can market to them, so you can be in the same rooms as them. So it was a really great learning lesson that I had. And when I had started my business way back in 2007, there wasn't a lot of resources out there for entrepreneurs, new founders. I remember there was like one guy at City Hall that used to do lunch and learns on like a Tuesday or something. It was really weird. I would go to them. I went to a couple, and it was like me and some real estate agents, because those were kind of the only entrepreneurs back then. And I was like, I want a community. I want to learn from people. And when the first co-working space opened in Toronto, where I was so excited. I think was like the second one to join. I dove in head first. I volunteered at the front desk. I was like part of all of the events, just because I was like craving that community, and it was finally there for me. And like all my friends became, the people from the co-working space, all the entrepreneurs and new business owners and people building things like I was. And I loved every minute of it. And I started learning and watching that a lot of these people had amazing ideas, and they were super smart, and they were building these really, really cool businesses, but they could only get them to a certain point. And they couldn't get over that kind of hump of whether it was, too much going on, not enough resources, not enough help, too much stress. It was just kind of this hump that kept stopping them. And I realized that it was because they didn't have the strategic support behind them that they really needed. You know, a lot of people hire very junior assistants at the beginning because that's all they can afford. You know, sometimes like their parents or their family or, you know, friends or something. And you know, it's great. It's great to delegate. And I absolutely love when people delegate their tasks. But you have to think when you're growing that business, you can't do everything all by yourself. You need to really be able to like bounce ideas off of people, be able to have that like right hand person beside you. Even if you have a co-founder, someone who can, you know, take all those kind of strategic
Yes.
tasks off your plate and really help you grow to the next level. And I realized that because I had a personal and executive assistant background. So I opened up a different arm of my company of Take It Easy in 2017 to be able to help small businesses, entrepreneurs, founders who are trying to build these really cool businesses be able to kind of get out of their own way and really scale for success. So now we help a ton of entrepreneurs and founders grow their companies. Usually they're in like the tech space, so going through fundraising rounds or have just gone through a fundraising round where, you know, it's really busy times. And I've been able to kind of take some of the techniques that I learned from working with celebrities and bring them into working with my own group of celebrities, my founders, my entrepreneurs, the people, in my opinion, who are really changing the world.
Awesome. So tell me the, you know, like a brief of the name behind the Take It Easy. Why you put the name as Take It Easy? What hit your head?
Well, my whole goal was to help people save time in their busy lives and to take it easy. I also am a huge music lover, and the song Take It Easy by the Eagles, I love it. And my husband was actually, when I was creating my business, he was out on the road with the Eagles at that time. So I thought it was just perfect to take it easy.
That's cool. That's cool. Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. So yeah, tell me like, so you used to talk about the time management for specifically for entrepreneurs, you know, so how you would like to define the time management for entrepreneurs? How should they manage, even though most of the successful, not most, all the successful entrepreneurs know, you know, like how to manage their time and so on, but what you would like to speak to them who are just getting started though?
Yeah, you know what? I think it's not just people who are just getting started. I think a lot of people struggle with consistent time management.
Got it.
And you know, we hear a lot about burnout, and again about people reaching kind of a level and not being able to get over that hump when they're growing these successful businesses. You know, very famous and you know, really successful CEOs and entrepreneurs, they even talk about time when they kind of can't control their time anymore or feel, you know, that they're just not in control. So yes, it's very important when you're starting a business to really think about time management, but also as an established, successful business person as well, to really hone in on your time management skills. And I always say that time management, it's a habit that needs to be formed. It's exactly like working out or eating healthy or whatever habit, other habit you want. Time management is one of them. And people always come to me and say, you know, I'm not good at it. I'm horrible at managing my time, or I'm horrible at holding myself accountable. And I always say, well, like, how long have you tried? Oh, well, I tried this little technique I read on Google, you know, for like a week or so. And oh, I heard someone talk about this technique and I tried that for a couple of days, but it didn't work. And oh, I read a book and, you know, they told me to do this, but like I tried it for one night, but I didn't really like it. And like, that's, of course, it's not going to work for you. You haven't given it the time. It's like going to the gym and running on a treadmill for an hour and thinking all of a sudden you're going to have lost 20 pounds, you know? Of
No,
course,
no,
I would love
it's not.
that. It would be so great. But it's not going to happen. So time management really is about figuring out a routine that works well and systems that work well within your own day-to-day life, and really sticking to them, and really like being able to manage them as you go. And it's really cool because time management and goals, they're universal. So time's universal, goals are universal. So it has, no relevance of how you've been brought up, how you live today, where you live today. Everyone has the same amount of time, and everyone has at least one goal in their life that they're driving towards. And it's just, how can some people drive towards those goals really successfully and others feel stuck? And I have to say that in my time working with celebrities, I've always watched and kind of wondered, how are these people and why are they the ones that are actually successful? Like, why them? Like, there's no lottery in life. They all have different backgrounds. There's no
Yeah.
kind of mathematical equation that says if you were born here and did this, you're going to
Yep.
be a celebrity. So like, why? So I would watch them as I was helping them, and kind of be a sponge and pick up their techniques. And I noticed a universal trend among all of them was how they focused their time. So if you think about it, like famous athletes, people who go into the Olympics, when they're training, what do? They 100% focus only on their
Yeah.
training.
Yep.
That's it. So they, and they do it like 16, 18 hours a day, training, and they get to the top of their game. Now, I'm not saying that you need to work 16, 18-hour days to get, to achieve success.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. But if you focus your time accordingly, that's really all you have to do. And I find that a lot of entrepreneurs, and I was one of them, as I was saying in the beginning, I was not focusing my time. I wasn't finding a niche. I was all over the place. I thought I could help seniors and drive them to appointments. And then I was helping entrepreneurs. And then I was just not focused, and I wasn't scaling for success. And my days were all over the place because my clients were all over the place. And it just wasn't conducive to building a successful business. But as soon as I could focus my energy on my one goal for the year and where I wanted to be, it just changed the game. And so I always say, when you're thinking about time management, it's best to think about it in ways of filling your days with meaningful moments that you can create the life that you want to live. So like, what's your big goal?
Yeah.
And then break those down into quarters, months, weeks, days.
Yeah.
And then what am I doing today that's actually going to be meaningful for my end goal? And then that really is time management. So are you focusing your day on those end results and not kind of scattered all over the place? And people always ask me, well, like, great, how do I focus my day? I have a full-time job. I'm a single parent.
Yeah.
I have a side hustle. Like, I'm doing all these things. Well, yeah, of course, we're all doing a million things. But all you really have to do is take that one task and check it off your list to drive you toward your next goal. And the tasks don't have to be big. Some are big, but not all of them need to be big. Like for instance, when I do a goal setting workshop, a lot of people will say, when I ask them, like, what's their big goal? And they'll say, I want to make $1 million this year. Okay, great. Perfect.
Yep.
Let's all make $1 million this year. Now let's break that into months, quarters,
days.
Yeah. How much do you have to bring in a day to make that $1 million?
Yeah.
Great. Okay, of course, we can do that. How many people do you have to talk to? How many clients do you have to have? How many products do you have to sell? All of this. How many people do you have to network with? Okay,
Yeah.
now you have those numbers. We're making it very, very specific. Okay, great. So what's your first task for the day? To now speak to 100 people, say, on social media, so you can get closer to your goal or whatever it is. But it's really like, I think people overcomplicate time management. You know, there's a lot of stuff that you can read in books that say, like, from famous CEOs that, you know, you have to wake up at 5 a.m., exercise, meditate, eat
Yeah.
3 meals a day.
Mm.
Like, there's so many things that you have to do according to these like gurus every single day. There's no time to actually get anything done. I find it hilarious when I read these, because
Mm.
if you try scheduling it into your day, you're like, well, all I've done is my routine, and now it's time for bed because they told me I have to get 9 hours of sleep. So,
Yeah.
but if you can just focus and concentrate on the tasks that drive you towards your goal, you are 100% more driving forward and being successful, especially at time management, than, you know, you are by waking up at 5 a.m. or, you know, exercising, meditating,
Yeah.
doing whatever it is. And I'm not saying don't do it, because all of those are of course important, but you don't have to feel pressured and, you know, like every famous entrepreneur and successful entrepreneur wakes up at 4 a.m. So I have to too. No, that's not the case at all.
Even before becoming successful entrepreneurs used to don't even sleep. They used to just sleep for 4 or 5 hours a day. So
Exactly.
they have those horrible nights as well, when they used to sleep at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning and used to wake up at 12 a.m., 12 in the noon, or maybe 10 in the noon. So that's also the life, which is something a process, which is in the process, you know. And time management, I think it's also a process, obviously.
It's true. And if you think about it, those entrepreneurs who like have those nights where they're not sleeping as well, or they're working really long hours a day, it's because they're focused on that end goal and they have that vision. And they're like, all their power and all what they are doing is focused on getting there. And, you know, they know that if they can sacrifice a couple of sleepless nights or weeks, then it's going to get them to their end goal a little bit quicker. That's all it's really doing. But, you know, if you don't want to sacrifice sleep, that's fine too. You're still going to get to your end goal, just may take a little longer.
Yeah. Yes.
But also, it's a great conversation to have of being able to bring in help as well, and knowing when to bring in the right help and when and what to delegate, so you
Hmm.
can still focus on those goals that bring in the biggest ROIs, and you can pass everything else off to other members of your team, assistants, whatever it is.
Awesome. Awesome. So you used to talk about goal setting and accountability, you know. So what do you mean by goal setting and accountability? You already said like goal setting, having $1 million, hit in a 1 year, split that into a quarter, month, and week, and so on. And how you would like to explain the accountability.
Yeah, so we kind of talk about them all as a whole. So you
Mm-hmm.
need time management, goal setting, and accountability to drive ultimate success in my business, in my opinion, whether it's business related or personal related. So we have our time management blocks. We're focusing on our tasks that are driving us towards our ultimate goal.
Mm-hmm.
And I actually want to pause there for a second, because a lot of times when I talk about this, people say, well, you're always focusing on something in the future. You're not living in the present. And I actually don't believe that this technique is like that. Yes, of course, my days are focused on, or my tasks, some of my tasks are focused on, you know, what I want in the future and what my goals are. But I also spend a lot of time looking back, looking at my goals, looking at what I've achieved,
Mm-hmm.
and actually celebrating them as well. And I think people forget about that. People are always driving towards their goal, but then like they kind of hit it, but it's doesn't really feel like anything, and they've already set another goal and then they're driving on.
Yeah.
So I think when you are setting your days up for really, really ultimate time management and success, it's really great to put time blocks in of where you know, like, what is my goal actually? Let's remember what I'm working towards, maybe on a monthly basis. And like, let's look back and see what I've actually done. And I think that's really, really cool because it can kind of get lost, especially for new entrepreneurs, where your head's down and you're just like driving and working towards building your product, whatever it is, and you lose track of time and all of that. So I think time management can help set goals, but it can also help you live in the moment too and celebrate what you have already accomplished. So yeah, we've talked about goals, we've talked about time management, and accountability is being able to hold yourself accountable to that time management, to that focus, to be able to drive your goals forward and to succeed. And again, watching the celebrities that I've been able to work with and some really wonderful entrepreneurs, the only ones that are successful are the ones that can focus, but they actually, you see that they hold themselves accountable, or they ask other people to help them maintain the accountability. So they'll ask their, you know, partners, they'll ask their assistants, they'll ask their managers, you know, make sure I do this, make sure I get up at 5 a.m. to catch my flight, because they know that it's important that they're on their flight. Make sure that I get up, when I wake up in the morning, I, you know, drink this smoothie so I can go and, you know, work out because I'm this famous athlete, whatever it is, but in their own way, by saying, like, it sounds kind of demanding, but they're actually holding themselves account, or getting someone to hold them accountable to their routines and to what that they know drives success for them. So whether you can hold yourself accountable of being able to like work through those tasks that you set out on a daily basis, or if you need outside help to do that, I think it's really an important step in being able to really build a great routine in your life to achieve that ultimate success. So when I'm always telling people who kind of want to keep their ideas private and they don't want to share them with other people, that's great. I like to write down my top 3 priorities for the day. And I actually like to physically write them down. So, because if I write them on a piece of paper or my computer, or sorry, on my phone or my computer, I tend to get lost when I go look for them. I'm like, oh, I got a Facebook message, or oh, look at those emails. And then like, I don't know why I've actually turned on my computer in the first place. But if I write them on a piece of paper beside me and I can physically check them off, it's actually really exciting and builds motivation, which is a great step in accountability. So you're like, oh yeah, look, I'm actually doing this. I'm actually working towards my goals. This is so cool. Check.
I used to do that on my walls back then.
Yes.
I used to do that on my walls, you know, like white walls or the purple ones with the marker, you know, like big ones. I just like completely.
Just check it off, and it just feels so good. So then when you go to bed at night, make sure you have your next 3 tasks done on the piece of paper for the next day, or the wall. And you can, you know, check, and it's actually going to hold yourself accountable, because if you keep seeing that you have to move these tasks from like a next piece of paper to the next stage, to the next stage, to the next day, like, you're not going to feel great, you know. But if you're like, no, I'm going to do this. Accountability also is about having enough self-esteem to really believe that you're worthy to achieve your goals. You know, people who don't think that they're worthy enough, they're not going to get to where they want to go. So whether it's, you know, building up your self-esteem through self-help and, you know, classes and meditation and whatever it is, I think that's really important to be able to know that like you're worthy enough to be able to achieve your goals.
Awesome. That's cool. It's a lot, I guess. It's a lot. Awesome.
Yeah.
So Tarra, tell me like one last thing, you know, like in the setting goals, what are the best techniques to set goals? Is there any process? Is there any best formula, you know, secret sauce formula? So what's that?
So my secret, I have two secrets that, or actually, I guess three, and we just shared one. So the first one is definitely knowing your top three priorities for the next day and writing them down, keeping them analog instead of going digital, because you won't get as distracted if they're actually sitting beside you on a piece of paper, sticky note, whatever it is. You can write it on a whiteboard or on your walls, as you said, whatever it is. But you won't get distracted.
Yeah.
And knowing those three priorities that are building up, you know, towards your ultimate goal is also the key. So you know that you're actually doing stuff throughout the day that is really driving like your business forward or whatever you're trying to plan to do, or grow your business. Maybe you already have a successful business, but you want to get to like the next level. Always should think about your top three priorities. Another one is as we talked about, focus. So what I like to do is I like to focus on what I'm doing throughout the day. And to do that, I time block. So in my days, I will have, you know, from 9 to 10, I'm helping this client. From 10 to 11, I'm working on my own business. I make sure I put breaks in. I make sure I put lunch in. Now, I do help multiple people. You can see my cat behind me. Multiple people for sure. And people, like I also work with celebrities who have demanding schedules. So I get calls, I get texts, I get interrupted from my time blocks. But once I get interrupted, because I have my task list and because I kind of have my blocks of like where I wanted to go in, you know, my day, I can get back on track a lot more quickly rather than kind of just flailing throughout the day. And then my other kind of big tip, which I love to share with people who are like, well, I just can't get motivated. And it's, you know, motivation, I think a lot of people think it's like a lightning bolt that is going to strike them at any minute and they are going to be motivated. Well, nope, not the case. I'm sorry to tell you, not going to happen. Motivation is actually something that's built up from small wins. So whether it's getting up in the morning and making your bed and being like, okay, I did something, or, you know, drinking that glass of water to get it off your to-do list for a healthy lifestyle, or, you know, whatever it is, making sure that you can, you know, check something big off of your list as well. So whatever it is, and by being able to like check those off, you're actually creating your own motivation, which will allow you to keep going and keep going and keep going. And don't think that you're not good at it, because as I said, it's a habit and you have to stick to it. If you try for a week and 2 weeks or whatever, no one's good at anything in just 2 weeks. So if you stick to it and really focus on your goals and your priorities, you're going to be a master at your business and huge success.
Yeah, it's a process. You said that. And consistency is key. Yeah.
Consistency is definitely key, for sure. It's really easy to get into a habit of not being consistent.
It's
and
even,
you know,
and you know, like in business as well, it's even easy to start with a business, but it's not easy to get going in a business, to be honest. It's real.
it's true. It's true. And it's because people, like, once you start the business, it's, you know, you're so excited, you have the creativity, you're going,
you have some money,
and then the business is yes.
you have some money, you
And
have
then,
some money, you hire a bunch of people. Yeah, I have this people, I got new office, I got this, I got that. But after 6 months, after a year, when the money not coming in, and then you have to survive, and then you have to pay yourself, then a bunch of things, you know.
And then, like, the business actual like tasks start building up, like the boring tasks, like the accounting and, you know, payroll and all that paperwork and filing and whatever it is that, you know, to maintain your business. The longer it's in the running and the bigger that it is, the more of this like boring tasks that none of us want to do and think about when we're creating our businesses. We always think about, you know, the end product or what our clients will get out of it. We never think of all that like stuff that has to happen between then. So yeah, that's why a lot of people stop too, is they're like, I didn't think that this was like what it meant to be in business. I thought it was, being in creative meetings and doing videos or whatever it is. And it's nope, not the case.
Awesome. Cool, Tara. So, well, thank you so much for getting into the show. It was good to have you in and lovely to talk to you regarding the time management, setting goals, and accountability and, time management for entrepreneurs. So, yeah, thank you so much for having in.
Thank you so much for having me. I had such a great time.